Yeah? Good. If not, I'm going to make you run outside right now because, wow, it was a little taste of spring. So as you know, we are not only gathering in celebration of Shabbat, it's not just any old Shabbat, it's a Shabbat that marks 100 years of women taking their place as adult members in the Jewish community in a ritual way with bat mitzvah. Yes, hooray. So it's actually, I've peeked at social media a few times today and saw that people were posting their bat mitzvah photos, which only the lucky few have perhaps seen mine from the newsletter we sent out today. It's very fun and funny to see the bat mitzvah pictures or bar mitzvah pictures of people who are now very far past that moment. So we want to honor tonight those who have become bat mitzvah and have marked that in community at whatever age. We had an adult bat mitzvah class here some years ago. Some of you here were part of that class. And perhaps there are some of you out there, or maybe some on the live stream, who became bat mitzvah later on as adults. We would love to hear from you in the chat tonight and here in the room. We'll give a chance for that, to hear about your experience of becoming bat mitzvah, if that was an experience that you had, or any other reflection on it. So just by way of introducing a little more of tonight's service, we have another special aspect of tonight, which is that our rabbinic intern, Naomi Gertland, is here. You've seen her a few times now on the Bima, which is awesome. And it's really fun to co-lead with Rabbi-to-be Gertland.
Thank you, Rabbi Berkman. Should we suit up?
Yes, we're going to suit up. And in case you don't know this, you might wonder, why are we wearing talit? By the way, women wearing talit is very recent. I'm not even sure when that began, but I can tell you when I first put on a talit in probably 1997, it was extremely rare. So here we are in our talitot, and typically in the evening we don't wear talit except for one time during the year, Kol Nidre, because Yom Kippur is considered one long day, and you only traditionally wear talit in the day, except it's traditional to wear talit if you're leading a service. So Naomi and I are wearing our talitot tonight, as I do every time I lead a service. Let's begin. We're so glad also to have Andy here, and just listening to his guitar up close and hearing his harmony just reminds me of that Saturday Night Live skit where they said, "It's like butter. It's like butter."
It kind of is.
It just is. So we're going to start by singing Hine Matov, how good it is to be together, because it really, really is. Please join in, whether you're here or whether you are out there. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. So I wanted to invite those who are here, whether in Zoom or in person, who have marked becoming bat mitzvah, whether in this community or elsewhere, we want to acknowledge you and honor you during this service. So if you're on the Zoom and can let us know in the chat, and anyone here how about, let's start with this. Anyone here become bat mitzvah at TOS? Denise did. And Naomi was there. And what year was that?
2016 or 17, 15?
Okay. Doris was there. That's really special. So Denise had an adult bat mitzvah, and at least 2 people in the room tonight were there for that occasion.
Karen was there too.
And Karen was there too.
And Larry was there.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's fabulous. So let's see. Yes, Diane Rosen at TOS in, did that say 2000?
I think it said 2010.
Oh, I love it. I love that people are saying I was there. Like, that is such a beautiful thing, not only to be the one of honor on that day, but to have been witness to it is so special. This hybrid thing. Oh no, it just went away. The Zoom went away. Everyone is friendly here though, and you're going to bear with us as we figure this out. So chat. Okay, now I can see you. Great. Oh, Deborah,
So
David, Zita.
June 1999. Deborah, adult bat mitzvah. I'm also in the adult bat mitzvah club in
In her
not
40s,
in
not in the
1940s.
40s. Yeah.
Whoops. Just kidding, Deborah. With Shir Chadash and then Diane in 2010.
Wonderful, wonderful. What? 2016. Oh, okay. And Diane was 2010. So wonderful. Right, I forgot that now with this fancy setup, you can actually see the Zoom. There's so many different things happening here, but we will adjust. Amazing that you can see each other. That's great. So we forgot to take our deep breath to enter into Shabbat. I'm so sorry. That's okay. What year were you, Susan?
In the very first class of girls that were permitted, invited to become the name mitzvah.
Susan was in the first class of girls in her synagogue who were ever invited to become Benot Mitzvah in 1959. Wow. That is amazing. If any of you know how to access, you all should be able to go onto Instagram and put in Judith Kaplan 1922, and you will be able to see a reenactment of Judith Kaplan as a young girl reflecting on what's happening around her and reflecting on this day. It's really just genius, these short clips, which really make it come to life in a new way. So really wonderful to hear, and we'll keep those reflections going. And yes, I do want to name, and we will honor them all later, whether or not they're here with us, but the class of 2010 was the Benot Mitzvah adult class: Diane Rosen, Cassandra Warshawski, Donna Rubinoff, Shelley Schwartz, Hilda Lopez, and Ronnie Sidney, all in 2010. So let's just get a little centered and open our heart space in the metaphorical and the physical sense to receive Shabbat, for this Kabbalat Shabbat, this time when we receive Shabbat together. The more present we are, just even noticing what it feels like to breathe and notice how our body feels in the chair, something that's simple wherever you are, can help us be more present to ourselves. And when we're more present to ourselves, we can be more present to each other and to the tradition from which we will draw wisdom and song and ritual tonight. Before we light candles, I want to share a poem. We were trying to focus on women composers and women poets for tonight, and I have a poem from Marge Piercy, who wrote a lot of beautiful poems for Jewish life and ritual, called Letting Go. So on that topic of sort of breathing and opening your heart space, maybe rolling your shoulders back and letting go of the week that has passed as we begin to enter into Shabbat. Marge Piercy wrote, "What you have made, what you have spoiled, let go. Let twilight empty the crowded rooms, quiet the jostling colors to hues of swirling water, pearls of fog. This is the time for letting time go. Like a released balloon, dwindling, tilt your neck and let your face open to the sky, like a pond catching light, drinking the darkness." And with that, we'll light our candles. I wonder if anyone here who has marked becoming bat mitzvah would like to join us on the bima for candle lighting. Any and all of you are welcome. Yeah, I guess we should.
All right.
And just in case you're wondering, we did some COVID testing before, which is why we're unmasked on the bima, but when you all come up, we'll mask back up. Welcome to the bima, Denise and Susan. And really, on behalf of all those who have celebrated this milestone and all those who haven't but would like to, it's not impossible that we could have another adult bat mitzvah class. And if there's anyone out there who says, that's something I would like to do, please let me know, and we'll make that happen. So the candle lighting blessing is on page 2. I guess you should flip a coin for who's going to actually strike the match. Or look at that, so agreeable. You just worked it out. All right, so the candle lighting blessing is on page 2. We'll join together. You can light now. Yeah. We'll bring that light, that warmth, all that flame symbolizes right into ourselves so that we can then bring it out into the world. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you, Yishar Kochech, and Mazal Tov on this centennial. We're going to turn to Shalom Aleichem and welcome the messengers of peace. Remind ourselves that we are messengers of peace, and Naomi will lead us. Page 24 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borchem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. So we sing our Ma Gadlu Hallelujah round as part of Psalm 92. And as Naomi and I were preparing for the service, we realized that too is by a female composer, rabbi named Shefa Gold. And so it's beautiful to recognize the musical contributions of women and of women rabbis who have only been around for, I think we just marked 50 years of women in the rabbinate. And also it's Women's History Month, so there's a lot going on. So Shefa Gold is a rabbi and has given us gorgeous chants and melodies, including this one. So some of you will just chant Hallelujah, and some of you will chant a line. It's actually excerpted on page 342. At the top, Ma gadlu ma'asecha ya, me'od amku machshavotecha. So take your pick, easy or difficult, Hallelujah, or the line I just said that comes from Psalms. But either way, be thinking about what made you say, Ma gadlu, wow, this is amazing, this world, whether it was something small or something profound. Let us know in the chat, and then if anyone wants to share anything when we're finished with our round, we can take some of those examples of wonder. Page 342 at the top. Hallelujah, 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 Ma gadlu, ma'asecha ya. Any experiences of awe or wonder anyone would like to share? That note was beautiful, I agree. Wondrous. Larry?
Early morning walk along the marginal way, and I got with this morning with the fog all around and the sun trying to break through, and just realizing this was going to be the first day of spring in Maine.
Wow. Can people on Zoom hear that? Yes, perfect. Thank you, Josh. You are a wizard. A wizard.
Josh, how did you do it? Another moment of wonder.
Right. No, it is wondrous. All this technology that we could not have possibly imagined just over 2 years ago, and here we are. Yeah. Anyone else on Zoom or in the room? Yep, Denise?
My hamantashen that I made with Bailey's Irish cream.
Denise?
Did you bring enough for the class,
Hamantashen with
Denise?
Bailey. I know. Where are they? Where are they? Hamantashen with Bailey's. That is the most perfect St. Patty's
That
Purim
is
situation. Oh my goodness.
top notch.
That does sound
Top
amazing.
notch.
All right, so I hope that you will all have moments of awe. You know, we're in the middle of the month. We just passed the exact middle of the month of Adar Bet, the second Adar. And when we're in the middle of the month, we have the full moon. And so hopefully you can catch it while it's still pretty full. And Purim was a wow moment. Yes, it was. So we're going to turn to Psalm 96 on page 13, just giving thanks for the earth, the sea, everything within it, the natural world. More awe and wonder. Let's bring our voices and clap our hands. Ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai, ya lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai lai, ya lai lai. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. שירו לאדוני, ברכו שמו, פסו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו הגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני, ומהולל מאוד. Turn to page 20 and 21 for Lecha Dodi. And we're bringing a new melody tonight by Batya Levine, a young, incredible composer from New York. Some of you have heard or sung her song, We Rise, which we'll also be singing later. But this is a melody she composed for Lecha Dodi. And we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And I think you'll catch on. Let the words and the melody just carry you wherever they carry you. And at verse 9, in body or spirit as you're able to rise and face the door, face the entryway to your home, and bow to welcome in the presence of Shabbat. Lecha, lecha, dodi, lecha, dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, leka bela, shamor vezah.
love how that song ends on kind of a question mark. It sort of brings us into Shabbat with an anticipation. We will continue with that anticipation as we call one another into holy encounter with Baruch Hu, which you will find on page 28. Please rise if your body allows. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. You may be seated. With Ma'ariv Aravim, we bless God for turning the day into night and the night into day, for giving us time to be awake and alive and working and enjoying, and time to rest. God knows just the exact time for those things to happen, and we praise that. I will read on page 31. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand, uncertain, on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim.
Amen. On page 32, we have Ahavat Olam. We're doing Debbie Friedman.
Yes.
Okay. I think some of you may have heard this. Join in if you know it, and even if you don't, this is a Debbie Friedman version of Ahavat Olam on page 32.
You want me to start it? I saw that look in your eyes. Ahavat
Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokvenu ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 34. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai page 36. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם
על
מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
There are times when the way ahead seems impossible, but it is equally impossible to turn back. The sea is before us, and the Egyptian army is behind us and gaining. There is only one thing, and that is to pray. Mi chamocha takes us to the water's edge, and prayer is the boat that carries us across. Please join me for Mi chamocha on page 40. Mi chamocha b'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh.
מלכותך רבנך חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לי לי I just want to thank Naomi for introducing me to that version of Mi Chamocha, to one of my favorite melodies and favorite songs, and it fits so beautifully, and your beautiful words beforehand were so resonant as well. Thank you. So we will turn to page 42 for our lying down blessing. Praying that we have restorative rest. Rest is built into the fabric of creation, woven into the story of the creation of our universe, is the idea that there must be pockets of time or islands in time, sanctuaries in time, that not every day is the same, that for some of our time here on earth, we work, we try, we strive, we work as God's partner for a better world. We take action. And then on that precious seventh day, we restore ourselves, we replenish our souls, because as the saying goes, we can't pour from an empty cup. Rest is not something to feel ashamed of or to take hesitantly. It is something to embrace. And so in our evening liturgy, not just for Shabbat, but in the evening, we also recognize that we must lie down in order to wake up to a new day, to do our work, to bring our unique, precious neshamot, our souls into this world, and do the work that is ours to do. So we'll sing the first two lines on the top of page 42, and then the indented lines on that same page in the middle, as we ask that we lie down in peace and wake up to life renewed. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Ushmor tzedkeinu uvoeinu lechayim ulshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. We'll turn to page 46 for our Amidah. We will rise as our bodies allow, can rise in body or spirit, whether here or at home. Page 46, we begin with this line from Psalms, that we be able to express what we know is ultimately inexpressible, our gratitude for this gift of life, our praise for the source of all life. Then we'll move into the first three blessings and then have some time for individual prayer using the words in our prayer book or the words in our heart. And then we'll join back together with a prayer for peace. And we can be seated as we've completed our individual prayer. Page 46. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor Ha'nora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh HaKol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, U'mevii Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shmo B'Yahava. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומחייך אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחייך, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלם. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We continue individually. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. הוא עושה שלום הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. So at this time, I would like to have a moment just really to honor those who have become benot mitzvah, who have marked bat mitzvah. So I'm going to go and look again, see if any new folks have joined us on the Zoom. If you have not already told us, so we haven't already called your name out, if you have marked a bat mitzvah, but another question I have is if you have been witness to a special bat mitzvah for a loved one, that, as I said earlier, is so important too, being part of that simcha, part of that joy, bearing witness, being there for each other for moments of joy is a great mitzvah, a sacred obligation. And so I'd like to know that too. So we know that Diane on the Zoom and Cassandra, I'm not sure if you're listening tonight or on the Zoom, Donna, Shelley Schwartz, Hilda Lopez, Ronnie Sidney were all from 2010. And Zita also. And in 1999 here at TOS, and Deborah was Shir Chadash when she was in her 40s. Anyone else on Zoom? And I'm sorry that, well, I guess if you're on Facebook and you have had, and by the way, this is anywhere. It doesn't have to just be in our community, but anyone who's ever marked bat mitzvah, or if you have had an important role in the bat mitzvah of a close loved one. I know that's a lot of you too. I'm going to offer a blessing. And those of you in the room who have done either of those things, please rise in body or spirit as you're able. And if you want to come up to the bima, then I could give you a blessing in closer proximity. I think it works better that way. No, but it really, the technology of blessing is that it can happen from however far away you are. So all of you out there.
I've heard you have a very effective long-distance blessing.
Oh,
actually,
yeah,
Rabbi,
I do. And
You're in
like when
good
my
hands.
kids have been at sleepaway camp, we've used it on Friday nights, and we just kind of zap, in
Least.
the
I think
general
that's safe.
direction. So if anyone would like to ascend to the bima, please do. And I will offer you a blessing, and I will offer you a blessing. You will be here in honor of all the women who have marked such an occasion or who have helped another woman. If you're a mom who's helped a daughter to that occasion and had an important role, of course, as mom, then I want to honor you as well. Come on up, don't be shy. You're only representing few generations of women. It's just 100 years. And I want to see all your punams online there. Okay, great. And all of you I can't see, I know you're out there, and I'm sending the blessing your way too. So, I'm going to share some words. And, oh, you know what? We want to put a tali over them.
Yes.
Mine or yours? Here, we'll use mine. It's
I
big.
think yours is bigger.
It's big. Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
What's
We
the plan,
didn't
Rabbi?
choreograph this. You're going to hold, I think this mic will still pick me up, so you're going to hold one end over that way.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to hold one end over, actually, can you guys come a little closer? Sometimes we're spontaneous.
We both have red shoes.
Ooh, cool. Okay, actually, Susan, would you mind holding that part up?
Sure.
Oh, this is so much
so short.
fun. Yeah, we really needed Rabbi Schaefer here tonight for this. We don't have the height that we need, but I want to offer this blessing for you and for all those who have marked becoming bat mitzvah within our tradition in the last 100 years. All of the women that make our Jewish communities and families run, all of the incredible work done by Jewish women throughout our world. And may we go from strength to strength. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, Miriam, Abigail, Ruth, and Esther, bless all who have come into community tonight, honoring when they entered into Jewish community as adult Jewish women or helped to accompany along the way for their loved ones. On this 100th anniversary of Bat Mitzvah, we remember that in the course of Jewish history, Bat Mitzvah is only a recent phenomenon, and we give thanks for Judith Kaplan and for all those pioneers who established Bat Mitzvah for generations to come. We honor those who came before us, who paved a way for us and for other adult Jews to follow in their footsteps and claim our rightful place in Jewish tradition and community. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov ki leolam chasto. Exclaim praise to the one, for God is good, God's loving kindness is eternal. May this occasion, and looking back at your Jewish journey so far, draw you closer to the Holy One, source of life and love. May your lives be enriched by the bonds of tradition and community. May you know blessings of success and health, along with all of your siblings in the people of Israel. And let us say, V'nomar, Amen. Sorry, I made your arms get tired. And thank you for standing here in honor of your own journeys and in honor of everyone out there and all of the women upon whose shoulders we stand, and in honor of the generations to come.
It's an honor.
So we felt the presence of all of you there under the talit, here on the bima. The spiritual energy was really there, and may we have many more opportunities to be together in moments of joy and in moments of honoring groups in our community. What a great night for Denise to have been here in person. So glad you're here. So we have also the most ancient words of blessing for you, but it was hard to hold up the talit, so we let you sit back down. That's okay, though.
Can I offer that, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanted to give you the priestly blessing. It will connect a little bit into my Devar Torah, but I wanted you to hear it. We usually hear it in the masculine form, and I wanted you to hear it in the feminine form. So if you would like to stand up again, you may. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm going to try out my blessing hands. They're still learning blessing hands, but it comes with so much love and so much gratitude to you all. Yivarchech Adonai v'yishmerech. Ya'er Adonai panav elech v'chunech. Yisa Adonai panav elech v'yasem lach shalom.
Amen. Keni
Ratzon.
Beautiful.
And yes, my arms were getting tired.
Yeah. Sorry. Next time we'll think that through.
Yes.
But
next anniversary of
next-
the Bat Mitzvah, we're going to be all set for that.
118th, maybe.
Right. Works for me.
All right. We'll
So-
see you all there.
Yes. We're
Go
going
ahead.
to get a little bit more serious. There are a lot of people in our world, people that we know close to us, people who we don't know, who are very much in need of healing, and we want to take these moments now to bring them to our thoughts, bring them to our hearts, say their names out loud if we so choose, and pray that they will be granted all the relief that is possible, and pray that those caring for them will continue to have strength and courage and positive energy. We will do Misha Berach on page 253. Before we say those beautiful words, with a melody by a woman composer, I will add, if there is anybody who would like to say the name aloud of someone whose healing you are praying for, please stand up and I will acknowledge you as we go around the room. Thank you. Thank you.
Joe Cardoza and Patricia Goddard and Carl West.
Thank you. Thank you.
And on the Zoom, sorry about that.
Oh, thank you. Good catch.
Let's see. Anna McNaught. Chava Esther Bat Chaya Sarah V'Chaim Noah. Diane's niece and nephew who have COVID. Ken Waller. And Steve Adler Golden. Vita Shosha Bat Basha V'Chaim. Marjorie Byers. Steve from Anatoly and Zina in Ukraine.
Thank you. I think we're all saying a special prayer for those in Ukraine who are suffering so much right now.
And also from our community, I want to mention the names of Stacy Kohler, Alice Newton, Miriam Batsara, Bina Golda Bat Rivka Yitzchak, Chaim Meshe, Dalia Bat Miriam, Asher Daniel Ben Leah, Dina Rachel Bat Aryeh Vegalia, Chaya Blaima Bat Chaim Chia Vasilia Ruchel, Cassandra Warshawski, Jeffrey Colt, Yosef Ben Herschel Veruth, Joe Siegel, and Glenna Bubb.
Join me on page 253. Makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu, makor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Shabbat Shalom. It is so good to be together. On Sunday mornings, I teach a wonderful class of third grade girls. As part of every class, we study Torah together and discuss the stories of our tradition. Invariably, one of the girls asks an amazing question or comes up with a creative insight. One question that comes up a lot with my third graders: where are the women in these stories? The truth is, we have to listen carefully and read against the grain to find traces of women's lives and perspectives in our sacred texts. I'll give you an example of what I mean from Tzav, this week's Torah portion. For the most part, Tzav is concerned with instructions for the sacrificial rites of the ancient Israelites. Different types of offerings, sin offerings, meal offerings, and so on, are described in gory detail. There's a lot of repetition, some of it kind of gross, about spattering the animal's blood and what to do with the protuberance on the liver and who gets to eat the meat. But tucked in there is something else, so subtle it's easy to miss. In chapter 6, verse 22, we read, Kol zachar b'kohanim yochal otah, kodesh kodashim hi. All the men of the priesthood will eat it. It is the holiest of holies. Although most of the commentators either overlook this or turn mental cartwheels to explain it away, it seems to me an entirely plausible reading to think that there might have been women priests. Otherwise, why would the Torah specify the men of the priesthood? This is just one pasuk in an entire portion, in an entire Torah. If you blink, you miss it. But think what's gained when we don't blink, but rather look more closely to see what subtleties are in there. I've been thinking about girls and women's learning because of tonight's centennial of the first bat mitzvah. It's almost dizzying to consider the impact of that revolutionary event. The Jewish world is so much better for having women's wisdom included in the conversation, which was too long dominated by men. That first bat mitzvah ushered in a whole host of new opportunities for girls and women to study and take their Jewish heritage as seriously as they wanted to. Women taking on public mitzvot, like leading prayers and chanting Torah, was an important step along the way to a richer and more varied culture of Judaic studies. Consider my third graders. If these girls weren't encouraged to study, their minds would not get to develop in relationship to Torah, and their wisdom would be lost. This very community has benefited enormously from that original innovation. Without Judith Kaplan, that first brave girl to become a bat mitzvah, we wouldn't have had Rabbi Lipoff, or Rabbi Saltzman, or Rabbi Berkman. Without Judith Kaplan, I would not have had the opportunity to become an adult bat mitzvah at the age of 36, which awakened my hunger for Jewish learning. And you know where that's leading. In September 2020, the esteemed Jewish educator Danielle Kranjek issued a challenge to her fellow Jewish educators to intentionally elevate women's wisdom in their teaching. In an article, Kranjek and her colleagues argued that, quote, when we curate all male source sheets, we send the message that men have a monopoly on Jewish wisdom. We know that this is not the case. The Kranjek test is an invitation to reimagine whose wisdom we teach, end quote. By purposely including the work of women scholars when we teach, we inspire more women scholars, and the world of Torah wisdom gets bigger and richer and more textured. Thanks to Kranjek's challenge, rabbis and teachers are bringing more attention to who is represented in their source sheets. People are considering poetry and essay as potential fodder for deep text study, and some learning institutions are creating fellowships for women scholars to research or create books and articles on matters of Torah. It's gratifying to see how the Jewish world is becoming more and more purposeful about expanding the horizon of their Torah learning to include more voices and perspectives. So let's lean in and keep asking questions like my third graders do. Who knows what new ideas we'll pick up if we choose not to blink, but rather pay close attention to the wisdom that's all around us, especially when it comes from an unexpected source. Shabbat Shalom.
Yishar kochech, that was beautiful and so important. So we are going to turn to Aleinu at the top of page 282 and then 287 as we move toward the conclusion of our service. Please rise as you are able. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו can be seated, and we turn to Kaddish Yatom on page 294, Mourner's Kaddish. And if you are observing a yahrzeit, an anniversary of a death, or in a period of mourning, and would like to rise or just indicate with your hand and share the name of those you are remembering this evening, we'll bring them into our space. We'll also have the screen shared for our yahrzeits in our community this week.
Seymour Levy.
Our son, Peter Phillips.
My grandmother's Gertrude Namath and Katie Methodist.
Sweet congregant, Helen Burke, longtime congregant. Close friends of mine, Janine Morgan and Renee Daly, as well as my nephew, Danny Leffman.
May their memories be a blessing.
Our father, Richard Zalman.
May his memory be a blessing.
My husband, Alexander Carton.
May his memory be a blessing. Should we have a steady one? We also extend our condolences to Betsy Jacobs on the loss of her mother, Elizabeth. And I don't have her name in front of me. I don't want to. Schofield. Elizabeth Schofield. Our condolences to Betsy and to Eddie and their family on the recent passing of Betsy's mom. Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. We rise if we are in a period of mourning or observing a yahrzeit, or if it is our custom to do so. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bialma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chaye chon uvyome chon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kori v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabba mavrach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen.
We can be seated. Just like to share a few announcements. Thank you to Naomi. Thank you to Alex Brodsky for helping usher tonight. Thank you to Andy O'Connell for his gorgeous music. Thank you to Josh Cohen for making this wild world of multi-access services work somehow. Magical. And thank you all for being here. And thank you for helping us to celebrate the centennial of Bat Mitzvah. I do want to say that the celebration doesn't have to end with this service. The Jewish Women's Archive has phenomenal resources on their website, jwa.org. All kinds of educational resources, articles you can read if you're curious to learn more about Bat Mitzvah and the history of it and of women's contributions to Judaism. So I'd encourage you to go to their website, and especially if you or anyone you know have reflections on a Bat Mitzvah and want to share any you can record yourself. They make it very easy for you to record memories, reflections, and to upload any photos. You can do that and really help create our communal memory and an archive. And we're actually doing the very same thing for our 180th year. we're much older than bat mitzvah. 180 years of our Temple Ohabei
Wow.
Shalom community is this year, 2022. A lot is in store for you to celebrate this. And one of the ways we're doing that is collecting stories and memories and documents and photos that you or someone you know may have related to this temple community. And we also are encouraging folks to just share some of their Jewish journey as well, even if it's not specifically connected to our temple community. We think that story sharing is such an important way of building and nurturing community, and it's also a gift to leave a record for those who come after us. So Larry Green has done an amazing job already for months in getting us ready to celebrate our 180th, and we have some events that will be coming up this spring. Please watch your email mailings. You've all gotten, I hope, a postcard giving you a heads up about some of these events, and then in the fall we'll celebrate together with a Shabbaton, a Friday night and a Saturday of lots of learning at the end of October in honor of the 180th. But I digress. Okay. So, yes, we should. That's a great idea. So we should have a bat mitzvah, or more than one of you who's marked bat mitzvah can come up to the bima for kiddush and motzi if you would like. We'll give you a moment while I have a few more announcements. Tomorrow morning on Zoom, Rabbi Schaefer is leading Torah study. So if you want to learn more about Parashat Tzav,
You can learn about the gross stuff.
you can learn about the gross stuff. And I love Leviticus because it's such a challenge to get like the deep meaning and how can we make it relevant.
Yeah,
You got to get past
sure.
the blood and guts. And there's great stuff there, amazing theology, I'm telling you. And I don't watch like horror movies or gore. I don't do any of that. So I like to go, leave that aside. There's really deep stuff there. So that's at 10:30 tomorrow on Zoom. Thursday, as every Thursday morning, 9 a.m., our wonderful group of, anyone can come anytime, but we have a group of women who's been coming just about every week. But please do come, even if you've never joined us before, at 9 o'clock for a mindfulness-based approach to studying Torah and doing a little bit of meditation from 9 to 9:45 on Thursday. And this I'm really excited about. Thursday night at 7 p.m. on Zoom, we have a special adult learning opportunity. My friend, Dr. Stephen Arnoff, who lives in Jerusalem, is a wonderful musician and teacher and scholar, and he's written a book called About Man and God and Law, The Spiritual Wisdom of Bob Dylan. Yes, ooh, right? Amazing. You must join us. It is not to be missed. I'm going to be sort of interviewing him a la Terry Gross, who I really just want to be.
Amazing.
And so I'll be pretending to be Terry Gross, and if it were still Purim, I would dress up like Terry Gross. She's also kind of short, from what I
You
understand.
could totally pass for Terry.
Yeah. But anyway, he's wonderful. Dr. Stephen Arnoff, you'll learn all about the spiritual wisdom of Bob Dylan, and who wouldn't want to learn about that? And we have his books for sale. Signed books are available for purchase through our website. Next week on Friday night, we actually have a Tot Shabbat, first one in a while, 5:15, for tots and tots at heart, like Josh. And at 6 o'clock, same time, same place, same channel for all of you on Zoom, and Facebook Live, Erev Shabbat Services at 6 o'clock, available here and on Zoom. Lots more to come. Happy spring. I think we're officially on Sunday. Wow.
Oh, like officially.
Officially.
All right.
Spring. So
ready.
happy spring. And before you know it, it will be Pesach. Wow. So that's it for announcements, and we'll make Kiddush and Motzi. We'd love to have any of our Benot Mitzvah to come up to the Bima if you would wish. Our blessings are on page 5, and please rise for the blessings. And those of you at home, if you have wine or juice or challah and you want to bring it into your screen, please do. After services, we'll cut the live stream and we'll be able to say hello to each other, those in the room and those on Zoom. carefully removing the
it's page
saran
5.
wrap. Page 5.
Sorry.
Page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzovanu v'shabbat kodsho yahavahu v'ratzon inchilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom tefillah lemikra'ei kodesh zecher yetziat mitzrayim kivanu acharta otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava u'v'ratzon imchaltanu baruch Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. Asher koach, I guess just one of you should drink from it. Thank you for taking that honor on behalf of everyone. And the challah, if you would unveil the challah, please. Thank you. And we will have, slices for folks to take on the way out, and some juice to take on the way out as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Okay, b'tei avon to everyone digging into challah or anything else. We have a special treat for concluding tonight. We are going to sing Batya Levine's We Rise. We have played you the video on a few of our Zoom services, and we're going to attempt to do it live from the Bima, and Andy, because he's Andy, just said sure, and just is going to play along. We're so fortunate.
Thank God for Andy O'Connor.
Honestly. And so join in, belt it out. I'm sorry that we don't have the words as a screen share, but you don't really need them because it's really all about the Ruach. It's all about the Spirit and just belting out We Rise. And the rest of
when in
it
doubt, just say
is
We Rise.
gravy. Yeah. I just wish you all a Shabbat of restorative rest and beauty and joy and peace.
Amen.
Where's the drum?
Oh, the drum.
We need the drum. We need the drum.
Alex.
All right.
All right.
We have this one too.
Oh, good. Let's have drums.
You want a drum?
Yeah.
You know how to drum?
No, I don't know how to drum. Do I need to know how? Oh, no. Okay. I don't know. Somebody who knows how to drum, take a drum. Anyone out there? All right. Ready?
We got it.
All right.
I'll follow it.
We rise, humbly hearted rise, won't be divided, rise, with Spirit to guide us, rise, in hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. In hope, in prayer, we find ourselves here. In hope, in prayer, we're right here. We rise, humbly heart, rise, elders with wisdom, rise, ancestors surround us, rise, we find ourselves here in hope and prayer. We're right here. We're rise up from the wreckage. Rise with tears and with courage. Rise, fighting for life. We rise in hope, in prayer. We find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here in hope, in prayer. We find ourselves here in hope, in prayer. We're right here. Wow.
Shabbat shalom.
Yasher koach. Shabbat shalom, everyone.